I'm just getting out here to a service call on this Eubank's sidewall package unit. You can kind of see why I got called out. The thing is all iced up, and actually when I got here the condensing fan blade was smacking the ice. Just kind of going over what I looked for and kind of checked. I checked the filter, obviously. It's kind of a good thing to always start with a little bit. It's slightly dirty, but not bad enough for any major stuff like this. Went through, made sure my blower motor and, like I said, the condensing fan motor was working, and both of those were working fine. I was in a call. Obviously it's too iced up for me to gauge up, and even if I could, it'd be pretty much to see if it was flat at this point or not. A couple of approaches you can do on this. What I like to do first is just test my defrost sensor. I couldn't find any information in this thing as far as like ohm readings or anything like that of what I was supposed to have on my sensor. So I had to actually call the Eubanks right here, or Eubank tech support, and I ended up calling up the tech support and had to get the ohm readings of what I needed. I ohmed out. I basically looked on the board and pulled off, this is my defrost sensor wires, pulled that off and ohmed it out. The readings they gave me, it was way off. So what it's looking like is a bad defrost sensor. I typically see the sensors, occasionally it's the board, but I usually see sensors just in general when I see units ice up. It's normally the culprit of what's going on. So obviously with this thing being a big ball of ice, I'm gonna have to melt the ice before I can do that repair or anything like that. We're gonna have to order this part up anyways. So what I did was I disconnected everything to make it so it's only going to run in backup heat. No one's going to mess with anything. I'm also going to go in on the thermostat and just change it to EM heat, so it's only using our backup heat source, which is the strip heat on this one, just so they have heat going still and this thing can melt. Another thing you can do, so if you're out here for the same scenario and your defrost sensor ohmed out good, you can also put it into a test. On this board, you can basically just jumper some pins and put it into test, and it should put it into a call for defrost. I also tried that, and it just wasn't working 100% how it should. So, but yeah, that's another thing you can try to do. And then if all that stuff is checking out good, what I'd recommend is trying to get this ice melted. I mean, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll just put it into cooling mode to get this thing to melt the ice quicker. And then as it melts, then afterwards you can kind of check your pressures, make sure you're not low on charge or anything like that, or metering devices or anything like that acting up. But that's a couple of approaches you can do on this particular scenario. So for me right now, just kind of conclusion, I'm going to be ordering up a defrost sensor, and I have it set up to run an EM heat only, so that way this thing can get melted and give these people heat still. I actually am out here, I have a filter as well, so I'm just going to throw a new filter in there just because that one's decently dirty. So I'm going to put a new filter in there as well. But yeah, that's what I ran into on this particular one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.